Do you like turkey sandwiches? Then you'll love the new premium carb turkey and bacon sub at Subway restaurants. It's oven roasted just right, sliced thick just the way you like it. And just when you think it can't get any better, look out. It's got crispy bacon in there too. Order one today on your choice of freshly baked bread. Then select any veggies you want to make your premium carb turkey and bacon sub uniquely yours. It's a great sub for people who really like turkey. Subway, fresh is what we do.
Blog Talk Radio.
Well, good evening, folks. And thank you for tuning in with me once again to another edition of True Conservative Radio. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. It has been since yesterday evening since I conducted another broadcast, and for some reason I have some sort of political fervor within inside of me that gives me the energy to continue to do these broadcasts on a consistent basis. And, of course, folks, I want to hear from you. I want to hear some feedback. The best way to figure out when I'm going to conduct these shows, and I have been conducting them on a consistent basis, is to follow me on Twitter. And, of course, folks, that's the first thing you need to do is please follow me on Twitter. The Twitter name to follow is Ghost Politics. All one word, no underscores, Ghost Politics. And, I've been getting a lot of tweets. I've been getting a lot of emails. And if you want to email me, by the way, it's ghostpolitics@yahoo.com. I've been getting a lot of feedback from folks saying that I should turn back the time on when this broadcast is conducted live. And I've been giving it a lot of consideration on maybe moving the time backwards because I have a lot of people that are on the East Coast and on other parts of the globe that would find it a little bit more convenient if we were to move the time back of the show to approximately anywhere from 10 to 11 Central. I don't know if that's going to be certain. I don't know if we're going to do that, but of course, according to a lot of individuals who've been tweeting me and who've been emailing me, they've been saying that I should just roll back the time from what it is currently, and it is rather late. I will be honest with you. It's a little late out here. It's 12:30 in the Central Standard Time Zone. People out here have been emailing me, tweeting me, saying to move it back. And, of course, the time frame that people have been emailing me is 10 p.m. Or 11 p.m. Central Time. So I would just like everybody's insight. If you could please email me at ghostpolitics@yahoo.com or add me on your Twitter, follow me, and send me a damn tweet. Ghost Politics is the name to do it. All right, now that we've gotten that all out of the way, I hope I hear some feedback from you on moving back the time slot of the True Conservative Radio program. Now that we've got that all out of the way, I wanted to talk about the topic that it took a whopping 6 hours of our television news time, and I'm talking about the infamous Healthcare Summit. Huh? The infamous Healthcare Summit, for heaven's sake, that was so touted as supposed to be some sort of monumental task for political progress on this supposed healthcare issue. And I think it's rather disgusting what happened. And unfortunately, folks, I have my own businesses, and, I have the convenience of watching TV for large periods of time because, well, I got a portable television set, and I like to news gather. I got, believe it or not, I got a new one of these tablets. These are these computer laptop tablets. I'm not going to name the name of the company because they're not paying me, but it's a great little tablet where it's just all touch screen. Everything's touch screen. I can get video on it, connect to the broadband via wireless broadband access. It's great. It's unbelievable what technology has done, and I gather all my news. I love being in the tune of things. I like knowing what's going on at all times. And I strongly advise everybody to do the same, but what has dominated the entire media circuit here for the first half of the morning into the afternoon was the Healthcare Summit. And I think that the Healthcare Summit was pretty much nothing more than political theater. Political theater for both sides of the political spectrum that was represented at this ridiculous little summit here to basically give talking time for these idiots to their constituencies. It was pure political theater. As a matter of fact, according to the timing of, I can't believe there's ass clowns actually timing the speeches of all these ass clowns during this whole debacle. But of course, Barack Obama spoke most of the time at the healthcare summit. And wasn't the healthcare summit supposed to be a gathering of ideas, a bipartisan gathering of ideas, supposedly? I mean, are you kidding me? We heard Barack Obama's voice more than any other blowhard ass clown that was sitting at that stupid table saying, "Oh yeah, Mr. President, I think we should do that." That's all we heard, man. You might as well. These are goat people. You know, these people have goat heads on. They say the same damn thing over and over. But one thing that we did see here at this healthcare summit is the fact that the Democrats are not going to back down on their little health care initiative. And I've told you this since day one, folks. These individuals have invested their entire political capital on this health care initiative. If nothing transpires in this health care initiative that, you know, isn't going to ensure, supposedly ensure, more than 20 million individuals, then it's an absolute failure for the Democrats. I mean, you know, the Democrats have failed all around, but since they've invested all of their political capital here in this, health care initiative, they have to make it pass. And look at these idiots. I mean, did you see the Democrats? I mean, it was a damn circle jerk, for the initiative that they're going to pass, or they're attempting to pass here, with this idea of a reconciliation vote. I don't know if you understand the whole procedures of what they're trying to do with this reconciliation vote. It's so goddamn complicated, I really don't feel like giving a damn government politics history lesson right now about what the hell these Democrats are trying to do just so that they can get this stupid initiative passed out here, for supposed, health care initiative. And yet you've got the average, everyday Barack Obama liberal moron believing that if this somehow passes, that they're going to get universal health care of some sort. Yeah? Universal health care. This is what these idiots actually believe that the Democrats and the liberals are trying to enact for them, the people. I mean, these are the same liberals like Nancy Plastic Face Pelosi, who takes military planes for her own, personal family use. You know, I mean, it's an utter disgrace what is happening here in America, and this healthcare summit was nothing more than political theater. I cannot believe that I actually wasted hours of my life watching these stupid blowhards give us nothing but the same rhetoric we've been hearing for the past going on a year and a half, 2 years. I don't want to hear this rhetoric anymore, all right? As a matter of fact, I don't really care what happens with health care. I mean, there's far worse situations that we're not doing nothing. Obviously, the American people are, sitting in line waiting for the stimulus checks. But these damn politicians that are supposed to be representing us, that are supposed to have our best interests at hand out here, they're not doing their jobs. They're out here doing the job of whoever's bankrolling their little campaigns out there. And just take a look at the initiatives put forth by this government. It doesn't matter if it's the liberal Democrats. It doesn't matter if it's the Republicans. It's the same crap, different plate, folks. You saw it at this political theater event, this healthcare summit. We saw it. I'm telling you right now, 2010 elections, we should just vote absolute buffooneries in there. I think that we need to vote for somebody that's just, the third option, the independent candidate. Who the hell cares? I mean, send a bunch of morons to the political spectrum of our society, and maybe, just maybe, the idiotic activity that's being conducted out there, mixed with the idiots that we send there, maybe you'll cancel each other out and they'll actually get some goddamn things done out here. I don't know. But let me tell you, these scumbags that sit here in front of our faces and give us the big smiles and, literally get on their knees and give us the brown nose session so that we feel pacified with their authority. These people have done nothing for us, nothing. On the contrary, for the past 30 years, they have sent the means of production outside of the United States of America. They have sent them to China, South America. I can name you countless countries. And this government gave them our tax dollars. Do you understand this? That this is a fact. This government, under your voting, responsibilities, by voting these assholes into office, you initiated for the past 30 years, you've initiated the export of American means of production. The export of American means of production. And our government gave these multinational corporations money to do this. Gave them money to do this crap. And you see, we weren't, too worried about it at the time, because remember, this was the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. We were too busy buying goods. We were materialists. We were just such dumbfounded imbeciles that we would buy the same product over and over and over again. That's how stupid we are. Just take a look at this cell phone craze. Every damn 3 months, these jerk-offs that work for me, believe it or not, I'm paying them good money over here. And what do they do with their money? They're out here buying the new phone for $500. At 3-month intervals, it's a new $500 phone. It's a new $600 phone. I mean, give me a freaking break. It's just a stupid phone. But you see, folks, that's how stupid we have become as American consumers. Don't you understand that how you spend your money is a political statement? I don't mean to get off on a rant here. I know I'm going off on another direction, but don't you understand that how you spend your money is a political statement? You see, I hear a lot of people bitching and moaning about Walmart, and believe me, I don't like Walmart one bit, all right? I'm a small business owner. I belong to my local Chamber of Commerce. I have witnessed what Walmart has done to the small business and communities around Texas, let alone around the country. I mean, I've read of, cases out of Arkansas, cases across the country where Walmart purposely went into these small town communities, set up shop out there, and purposely priced the goods lower than wholesale value. All right? Lower than wholesale value. That means that they price the products lower than what mom and pop can get them for on the wholesale end. So that in turn basically threw all the mom and pop shops out of business, and the small community became dependent on this damn Walmart for economic opportunities. And as a result, when Walmart got all these profits and became a big multinational corporation, what did they do for the worker? They've done nothing. They've done nothing, all right? Walmart is a disgrace. It's an utter disgrace, but you know what? It's nobody's fault but the consumer, and it's nobody else's fault but the people. The people shouldn't be willing to work at whatever it is, $8 an hour, or whatever the hell it is, with no benefits or whatever it is, all right? All right, but it's you idiots that are sitting here saying, okay, I'm going to work for $8 an hour, even though, Walmart is the biggest company in the world. No, you want to go out there, work for $8 an hour. And you know what's funny about Walmart? Tying in with health care here. Walmart is attempting, because, of course, they don't give their, they don't give their employees any kind of health care whatsoever. So they're experimenting with these in-house clinics. Let me explain to you what Walmart is attempting to do to supposedly remedy the problem. Now, let me explain. They are actually putting certified clinics with actual doctors in their stores, and this is not happening all over the place. It's just experimental around the country. So the consumer can go in there, and I think this is very good for the consumer, which is unfortunate, because the consumer can go in there and, they know they have a cold, they know they have strep throat, they know they have, whatever simplistic ailment. They just go in there, they pay about $25-$30, and, lo and behold, they get a little prescription, and they go and spend $80 at the damn pharmacy, okay? Now, the reason I say that's good for the consumer is because that's the way healthcare should be. But what it's bad for is the employee. You see, the employee, if you happen to work for Walmart, and this Walmart actually has these clinics in their stores, you'll never be able to call in to work. Do you understand that? Just imagine being a Walmart employee with one of these things in these damn stores, for heaven's sake, and you call in and say,
Yeah, man, you know, I'm having stomach pains here. You know, I ate a bad egg roll, and oh God, oh.
And, you know, the boss at Walmart's going to say, well, you know what, I don't care what you is. I don't care what it is. What I want you to do is come to work, come here to our local little clinic, because, of course, that's going to be free to them. You know, they can go to the clinic at any time and get free health care. That's going to be Walmart's free health care. So on top of the employees only getting paid $8 an hour, and now that they're starting to, you know, say, hey, well, even though we're getting paid $8, we want health care, Walmart's remedying it by putting these damn, you know, clinics in there. And believe me, I think it's good. I think it promotes the privatization of medical care, and that's exactly what I promote. But what's unfortunate is that the employees are going to get the shaft. They're going to get the shaft because, and you know, they're never going to be able to call in to work. I mean, just imagine if you have to go to work and, you know, everybody calls in. Let's not be stupid. I own a business, right? I know ass clowns who, you know, call into work all the time, and not all the time, but, yeah, I'll give them a little leniency based upon their intensity of labor. I mean, if they're good employees, I mean, they're valuable, I understand. Okay, but just imagine you being a Walmart employee and you have to call in. There is no excuse any longer. They have a doctor's office in the store. So if you say you're sick, if you say that you're not feeling well, if you say that your kid is sick, they're going to tell you to take them to the damn doctor there in the store and to get your ass back to work. Just imagine that.
Oh, hey, boss, I'm sick. You know, I don't know. I got an infection of the crotch or something. I don't know. There's something going on down there, and I can't walk very well. I got to take a day off.
I don't care. You need to come get your ass down here and go to the clinic. And if they say you're okay to work, then get your ass back to work. There's no calling in at Walmart. You know? I mean, you know, that's what I'm saying. There's no calling in to Walmart. I mean, that's what I don't understand, folks. You know, these idiots, and getting back to this healthcare summit, these idiots put on this political theater, you know, hoping that the, you know, American public will be sucked into it emotionally so that we can fall hook, line, and sinker with this malarkey. I'm serious. They think that because they had 6 hours of the American public listening in to this stupid, dumbass, whatever you want to call this political theatrical garbage, that the American public are going to be like, oh, you know, the Republicans have the right idea. Oh, the Democrats have the right idea. They don't have the right idea. You want to know why? Because why are we having to force the American people to buy insurance anyway? Can somebody explain that to me? Why is the insurance companies even involved in this mess? I mean, doesn't anybody understand that it's the insurance companies? All right? And the damn Medicaid and Medicare, the government arm of the insurance industry that is driving the costs of health care through the roof? I mean, do you understand what I'm saying here? And on top of which is the tort reform. We heard a lot about that. You know, with the Republicans. Republicans are acting as if tort reform is the only damn thing weighing down health care, which, with all due respect, I understand that tort reform is a dramatic part of why health care is up, but you had these Republicans salivating as if they were paid off by somebody. Maybe they were, maybe they're not, I don't know. But these idiots were promoting tort reform more than anything else, when somebody at that healthcare summit should have said, why do we even have the insurance companies involved in the transaction between a patient and their practitioner? Can somebody explain that to me? You know, I find it funny that GE and these other technological companies that are, you know, putting money into research and development to innovate these great medical products. You know, we have the ability to be able to give you heart surgery. You know, I mean, open heart surgery without actually breaking open the chest cavity any longer. You know, it's done by robot. Of course, the surgeon is still there actually doing the procedure, but but the robotic process is like 95% more accurate than the human hand. And on top of which, we don't break the chest cavity. Why exactly aren't these medical procedures universal in hospitals everywhere? Well, I'll tell you why, folks, because the cost of that particular product, because there's no demand for it, and the reason there's no demand for it is because, well, I mean, why would there be demand for it? If they bought it at market level right now, they wouldn't be able to make their money back on that equipment before the equipment goes kaput or needs repairs or something of that nature. And I'm not just talking about the robotic, chest cavity thing. The only reason I'm saying that is because I know that sooner or later, here in the next, hopefully not in the next year, but sooner or later, I'm probably going to need one of those procedures. And I don't want to get my damn chest cavity broken open and have my faith in some doctor's hands that he doesn't, put the scalpel one way or the other and, kill me on the damn table. I would much prefer him have a procedure that's 95% more accurate than his hand. On top of which, we have body scanners that can literally scan your entire body and look inside your organs. I mean, it can literally scan, you can have like a 4-dimensional look at your entire insides to the point where you can predict or possibly find precursors to ailments that are laying dormant. I'm not joking, folks. These damn pieces of technology are available. But what's really unfortunate, folks, is they're not available to us. They're not available to us because, well, they're not in hospitals. You know why they're not in hospitals? Well, I hate to keep repeating this, but, folks, how practitioners and hospitals, how they make their money is by billing the insurance companies, billing Medicaid and Medicare. And all these institutions, Medicaid, Medicare, and the insurance companies, they have a set price, all right? A set price for every medical procedure known to man. I mean, heart surgeries, cancer, chemotherapy, tumor removals, everything you can imagine, they have a preset limit for. So what do these practitioners do? They go out and they try to bill the insurance companies as much as they can because that's the basis of their profit. But they can't profit very much because in some instances, I'm not going to say all instances, the insurance, the practitioner insurance costs close to 50-60% of the profits that they make. All right? I mean, the insurance, for malpractice suits, and all this other crap. So these are big contradictions within the system that aren't being addressed. And the way we should address them is just get the insurance companies out. Get them out. Get the insurance companies out. And why can't people pay for their own health procedures? All right, I mean, just imagine if we privatize the entire health insurance, or privatize the whole healthcare industry. Not screw the health insurance industry. They should be destroyed. They should be just, that should be a thing of antiquity. I mean, we should look back upon that and say, did we actually do that? I mean, did we actually use middlemen for our health care? Did we actually use middlemen for our health care? And yes, we did. We're still doing it. We've got a government wanting us to force us to buy middlemen health insurance. It's disgrace. They want to federally mandate it. And if you don't buy it, they're going to put fines on your ass. And if you don't pay the fines, they're going to throw you in jail. Read it in these stupid bills, these versions of these bills that are coming out. We have models where this works, folks. The eye industry, the eye care industry is completely privatized. And look at where that has taken the evolution of eye care. It's gone from glasses to laser surgery. I mean, you can't imagine, and of course you have your, malpractice situations with the laser surgeries, but, lo and behold, there's legal processes to remedy those situations. I mean, but you can literally perfect your vision by simply having a procedure. I mean, that's how innovative it was. And now, I remember when I got my procedure, it cost me $10,000 to drop for a laser eye surgery. I see perfect 20/20. Now, these damn laser surgeries, because of supply and demand and because of all the practitioners that went to school and learned how to do this crap, you can get it for $2,500 now. You can get a laser eye surgery for $2,500. I mean, just look at what happened here in the plastic surgery industry, the cosmetic surgery industry. I mean, in the 80s, when all these bimbos figured out, oh, you know what, we can get big tits now because there's silicone implants. Well, if you wanted some silicone implants in the 80s, it cost you like damn near $20,000, $25,000. But because of supply and demand, because of all the doctors that wanted to become, plastic surgeons and cosmetic surgeons, because of all the people that want to perfect their bodies, because we're such a vain ass clown of a country that thinks that we have to have big tits and straight noses and indented chins and bigger schlongs and bigger asses. We have this demand. That's why plastic surgeons are the highest paid practitioners in healthcare today, and that's a fact. That's an absolute fact. So to sit here and have these dumb politicians, these scumbags, and I can't stand the sight of these damn politicians because they don't care about you or I. They care about the losers. These dumb losers that are out here, shitting out kids like they're, manufacturing Cabbage Patch dolls. They care about the Wall Street assholes who, bankroll their campaigns, but they don't care about the middle class. You want to know why? Because the middle class doesn't vote. And you want to know why the middle class and the upper middle class don't vote? I'll tell you why. Some of the middle class and upper middle class don't vote because they don't care. Because they'd rather go out and, spend their money and become a middle class family and get the cars and the houses and that sort of thing. But the other people just don't have the time. They don't have the time between maintaining their family and working their job and taking care of their kids. I mean, you've seen the lines at some of these damn polling places. It's damn near 8 hours standing in a line with a bunch of old pieces of crap that are still attached to life support machines that are willing to stand there for about 6-7 hours so that, I did my vote. I did my vote. I did my duty. No, you didn't. You just contributed to the downfall of our society, you old piece of crap. I'm sorry, folks. I don't feel sorry for old people. I'm an old person. I'm not that old. Let's put it that way. I'm not that old. All right, but these 80-year-old, late 70-year-old pieces of decrepit crap. I have no pity for these people. Are you kidding me? They're the ones that perpetuated all the problems that we have today. I don't care about these sniveling little old farts. I don't care about them. All right, if they didn't raise children that or had friends or had influence or somebody who gave a crap about them to put them in a nursing home and have their diaper changed at least once a week, well, then why should I give a crap? Why should I care? That's what I'm saying. Don't feel sorry for these old people. They're the ones that put our situation in the current situation that it's in. But anyway, folks, I want to hear from you, 646-652-4869. We're talking about this political theater of the healthcare summit. It was a bunch of malarkey. These people are, so shoved so far up the health insurance anal passage. I mean, you can literally smell what they had for breakfast this morning. It's a disgrace. Unbelievable. All right, 718, you're on the air. Hello?
Ghost?
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, man, this is Robert, and I want to talk about Nancy Pelosi.
All right, what about Nancy Pelosi?
I want to tell you something. This lady is using thousands of dollars, taking in private planes. This money could be, in how many ways this money could be getting used instead of private planes and her luxury. I mean, this is madness.
Of course it's madness, but, we're accepting it. We elected these people. I mean, the liberals in California think that Nancy Pelosi is the second coming of their secular god. What the hell is that? Are you okay? I mean, I don't know if that was a young man prank calling. I don't know if he was playing with his Peter Popper, but obviously he had a problem. But, I've been talking about Nancy Plastic Face Pelosi. All right, I mean, I've been talking about this bimbo. She doesn't care about the American people. She's out here using military jets for her own leisure and her family's leisure. It's documented. All right, 646-652-4869. And remember, folks, we may have some prank callers here because I believe that a lot of these individuals who call up and do these prank calls are paid by leftist organizations to basically make your mind go into a different direction. I mean, you know, we're actually talking about some serious discourse here. I mean, every time I conduct these broadcasts, I know I might go a little out of control every now and then, but it's only out of passion because I can't believe what's going on here in my country. And I have prognosticated a lot of political events that have come to pass, and the reason is, folks, is because it doesn't take a brain scientist to figure out what is going on here. Anybody who is a student of history, anybody who is a well-known student of political theory, because that's what's going on here. It's a battle of ideas. It's a battle of ideas. I guarantee you that these individuals are being paid by the Democrats or the liberals or somebody to deviate the conversation, to deviate the subject. Remember, these people are masters of propaganda. They're masters of deception. All right, so 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. 781, you're on the air.
All right, Ghost. I hear you talk a lot of negative things about Sarah Palin, but I just wanted to say there's one thing that she did contribute to the conservative movement. There's one great thing.
What's that?
That ass, baby. That ass is so fine, man. And them titties.
Everybody hear this?
You want them to hear more of me or what? You want me to keep going?
Well, what do you think? Why is that? Why you would vote for Sarah Palin? Because she looks hot?
More than likely. I mean, I think she should be in the kitchen making sandwiches, but fuck it, our country sucks, man.
Yeah,
go to Canada.
Great attitude. Oh, you're Canadian?
No, I'm not Canadian. I'm American, but I'm just saying America sucks.
Well, America does, well, I wouldn't say it sucks, but the American public sucks at this time. And I really didn't appreciate you calling up my program, you stupid, filthy piece of crap, saying, oh, yeah, Sarah Palin is hot, and you sound like you're waxing your carrot as you say that. But you know what, folks? This is unlike what is happening in our political system in America today. We have individuals that actually believe that Sarah Palin, with her entire idiocy and her jumbling over her own tongue like she's trying to sputter out sentence fragments to conjure up her legitimacy, this woman is actually a detriment to the conservative movement. She's the one that has conservatives today trying to justify teen pregnancy, justify divorce, justify all this nonsense, and we're not going to do it. All right, we're not going to do it. And move to Canada. Are you kidding me? Canada? I wouldn't take a dirty diarrhea crap in Canada. I hate Canada. Look, I'm sorry. You know, I haven't been watching the Olympics, mind you, because I think the Olympics is a joke. And now that it's in Canada, I mean, I hate Canada. These moose-humping pieces of Tom Green, one-ball-loving garbage. I hate Canada. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say hate. I do not like Canada. All right? I mean, they are a pimple on the ass of America. I mean, these Canadians talk so much garbage. I mean, they're the first ones to flap out of their stupid mouths, hey, America's not doing very well, eh? It's not very good, eh? I don't care. And you know what's really even more horrible? Out there in Vancouver, they've erected some sort of a big old head, a head statue of Vladimir Lenin, with Mao Zedong's head right on top of it. I mean, this is how much of a disgrace Canada is. So I hate Canada. You people from Canada can go piss off. And I don't mean to encapsulate a whole group of people under this category, but a group is defined by its majority, folks. Always remember that a group is defined by its majority. So don't sit here and give me this little crap that, oh, Ghost, why are you doing that? Shut your mouth. 832, you're on the air.
Hey.
What's going on?
Hey, you sound kind of cute.
Oh, give me a break.
Get
him off! Get him out of here! You see what I'm saying, folks? This is the kind of agitation that I have to deal with on a consistent basis because I'm telling the truth. I am yanking the liberal idealism. I'm yanking the liberal philosophy out of the closet, and they want your mind to be deviated from that process. You notice when I started talking about health care and started talking about all this nonsense, they're all this agitation. You people are making Karl Marx proud right now. You know that, you damn liberal agitators? You're making Karl Marx proud. I bet you Mao Zedong is licking the anal cheese right out of Vladimir Lenin's ass crack in absolute glee, looking at you liberal agitators agitating a true conservative like myself. It's an utter disgrace. 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. We're taking calls. We're trying to get somebody's insight on what they feel about this political fear that was put on today by these damn politicians. All right, and I'm talking about this health care summit, this ridiculous health care summit. And all I'm getting is constant agitation from leftists that are trying to provide, discombobulation in the show. And I'm sorry to the individuals that are actually listening to the program that are trying to, get something, some kind of insight. Anyway, I think we got Sean on the phone. Are you there, Sean?
Hey, Ghost.
Hey, what's going on, man?
I actually did not know you were doing a show tonight. I just tuned in.
Yeah, I didn't know I was going to do it either, but I feel that we're in precarious times, and I know that I may be sometimes a little bit emotional and a little bit passionate every now and then, but I know how important this is. I cannot leave this world without attempting to try to get some of these idiots out here in America to stop thinking about consuming Chinese products and watching gay bondage with Adam Lambert CDs, but or muff diving with Lady Gaga or whatever. But we need to start talking about fixing our country, and the first thing we need to do is unelect these bastards that are in here giving us the big smiles in Washington, get them the hell out of there, and throw whoever the hell else we want in there. Throw some morons in there or something, and make sure that we are on the ball politically, because this is a government made for the people and by the people, and we've fallen asleep at the wheel, and as a result, we're in some very precarious times, and I think that we need this type of commentary, and the kind of commentary that you provide on your website, and every other conservative and true American and a taxpayer. I mean, we need to gather all these groups together so we can take our country back, damn it.
Exactly, Ghost. I don't know if you talked about the healthcare summit today or not.
Yeah, we were actually just talking about it before we got bombarded by a bunch of leftist agitators.
Well, I watched a good bit of it, a couple hours. And
a 6-hour event there.
Yeah, I could not take watching the whole thing. It was just never going to happen. The progressives, Obama, Reid, Pelosi, they just wanted to make the Republicans look like they were blocking the greatest bill that has ever been introduced in front of Congress. And
absolutely, and I think that the Republicans didn't do any better, though, by trying to emphasize tort reform. Although tort reform, I just alluded to earlier before these agitators came in and skewed the broadcast to a certain extent, I was saying that tort reform is something that needs to be reformed, but it's not an emphasis. And of course, I'm somebody who believes in privatization of the healthcare industry, and we shouldn't have any health insurance, period, let alone federally mandated insurance.
Yeah, and what we are going to see starting next week is the Democrats in the Senate trying to push this through, and I don't know if they have enough votes to do it. I'm not sure, but it's going to start pushing through an agenda that's of the socialist nature. That
of
course.
I mean, and these people want it, though. That's what's unfortunate. The American people are dumbfounded by the rhetoric. I mean, they're anesthetized with what the hell these damn politicians are saying because they think that, I don't know, they're authority or something when they're supposed to be public servants. not authority. These assholes have the audacity to wave their fingers in our face as if they're the supreme leaders, like they're what Lenin equated the proletariat intellectual vanguard or whatever. I mean, screw you people.
Well, they don't care what we want. They only care about what they want. And because the Republicans even showed up, it shows us that the Republicans also want to reform health care to a point where we may also not agree with it, even, where the Republicans want to take it. So I would have been a lot more happy if the Republicans said, no, we're not showing up. We don't believe it's constitutional. And
instead of trying to legitimize this garbage. But you have to remember there, Sean, these Republicans are no different than the Democrats at this point. These people are conservatives. Yeah. These people are, as we talked about in a couple of programs ago, they're now libertarians. That's the new recipe of today for Republicans and conservatives now. It's even infected the conservative movement, this libertarian nonsense.
Exactly, and I went off on that on a show I did earlier in the week about CPAC being overrun by libertarians. And
that's exactly right. Ron Paul won the straw poll out there, hands down, for heaven's sake.
If you're going to have a conservative convention, and that's what CPAC was supposed to be. You can't bring Ron Paul up there and say that he's the best choice for the conservatives. That's insane.
It's unbelievably insane. And like you alluded to in my blog when you commented on it, I mean, there are some issues that you agree with them on, but that's the trick of libertarianism. You know, they put pieces and, they're playing cafeteria politics, picking and choosing the issues that's going to get them the majority vote. But what is the premise of their libertarian philosophy? And I've, wrote about it on my blog. It's communism. It's no different than what these leftists are doing. The only difference is the method of getting there.
Yep. And I have to apologize, Ghost. I know I'm stuttering. Like you a few nights ago, I had a few drinks tonight. And
well, no, hey, you're a working person,
apologize.
Sean. No problem. That's the way it is, and that's the way it should be. What people don't understand is that political movements were started in beer halls and in bars. The national anthem was a beer hall song back in its day. I mean, that's what these don't understand. These things are inspired, but instead you go to a damn pub or you go to a damn bar nowadays. It's a bunch of drunkard ass clowns trying to get laid with a loose-loosey slut bag that looks like she's been about 40 years worth of booze and smoke. It's a disgrace. There's no kind of discussion, no type of intellectual curiosity at these joints, and I'm ashamed to say that America is definitely fallen down. Go ahead.
Ghost, I was at a friend's house. I'm back in Pennsylvania where I used to live, and I visited a friend at his house, and we were having a couple beers, and we were having a good time. And one of our friends called us and said, "Hey, why don't you meet us at a club?" And I'm 26 years old. My friends and I don't go to clubs anymore, and we thought, okay, we would go. We were there for less than a half hour, and we could not take it anymore. I don't know if I'm getting too old or if I'm getting too wise, but
it's not that you're getting too old, Sean. You know what it is? You're witnessing the destruction of our social landscape in America. I mean, if you go to a club, you go to a bar, I'm sure that you can witness some of the most disgusting scenes
that's
basically destroying our social pipeline. You've got women out there that are basically showing off their private parts, showing off their cleavage. I mean, you even got these broads putting glitter on their tits. I mean, what the hell is this about? Wait, glitter tits? I've never heard of such a thing. And what are they doing that for? They're doing that because they're trying to hook, line, and sinker somebody to get paid. I mean, it's a disgrace. It's modern day prostitution, but, you know, these broads want to hide behind, you know, the prostitution bit by saying, oh, well, I dressed like a, you know, loosey slut bag, but, you know, I'm just a good girl. Shut up, stupid broad. Go ahead.
When I was younger, I thought I could go to a club, you know, meet a girl, go home, and now, you know, I know that that's just not going to happen. It's all a game. And a lot of the people in the clubs and the bars, they don't know it is a game. All of this is a game.
Of course. Of course it's a game. And what's really unfortunate is that it's destroyed our families. That's what it's done. It's destroyed our families.
There is more to life than, you know, drinking a fifth of vodka or having half a case of beer. Even though I was drinking tonight, and, you know, maybe I'm maybe I'm talking out of turn.
No, it is your right. It is your constitutionally protected right to consume alcohol. I mean, just as long as you're not out there driving on the road, which it doesn't seem like you are, you're sitting there at home kicking back. There's nothing wrong with that. But what's wrong with it when it becomes a problem is when, you know, you're collecting entitlements and you're, you know, guzzling down, you know, buckets of beer in front of your porch, and you're getting that porch from your house paid for by the taxpayer. I mean, that's when it becomes a problem. But this is America. You know, America, you should be able to do whatever the hell you want to do. That's what America was about. If you want to be, you know, a homosexual, well, then you be a homosexual. We just don't want to see you out here in gay pride parades and bondage outfits and ball gags and, you know, sitting there having oral copulation with men across the street from an elementary school, and you want to protect this crap by the First Amendment. But if you want to do all that crap in the privacy of your own home, I don't care what you do. I mean, if idiots want to snort cocaine all day long in their houses, I don't care. But once you start taking it out on the streets, and once you start exposing our children and our society to it, which if you walk the street in any major metropolis in America, you can see the riffraff just walking the streets like, you know, zombies. You know, they had this movie called Zombieland come out recently. I think that we're talking about people out here. I think zombies are people.
I don't know where America is going, Ghost. I really do not know. I try my best to enlighten the masses with my blog.
I know you do it, and I go to your blog, I go to your website. It's very insightful, and you provide a lot of blogs. I mean, as a matter of fact, you provide a lot of commentary, which I appreciate. But, you know, I know what you're about to say, Sean. You know, sometimes it's like, for what? Am I right?
Exactly. Sometimes I sit there and there's nobody that comments, there's nobody that sends me an email, and I wonder, why do I even do this? Is it even worth it? And I just wanted to say the hell with it.
Well, you know, that's what the liberals want. Do you understand? That's how they've destroyed our society. That's how they destroyed it, because, you know, you find yourself at a wit's end. And believe me, I find that a lot of the times. You can go back in the archive where I just kind of quit the show there at mid-show because I just can't stand it anymore. But inevitably, what you need to do, Sean, is continue doing what you're doing. You know, continue blogging, encourage other people to blog. I mean, encourage other people to go out there and do shows, do YouTube videos. You know, if you're an artist out there, I think people need to put propaganda posters. They need to make propaganda posters for conservative thinking, for free market capitalism. We need this again. We need, you know, in my personal opinion, I think we need a serious change with those of us that just want to get on with our everyday lives, that we're taxpayers. All we want to do is go to work and come home and have a good life with our families, and we can't even do that anymore because we got so many losers. These damn losers in our American society. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Ghost. I just have to address the losers in your chat room, and I know they think they're cool when they come to my blog and they leave just terrible responses in my blogs, and I never post them because I have locks on them, and you know I have to okay every post that comes in. But I just want to tell these people that they think that they're hiding behind all these proxy servers. They think that they're invisible, but they are not. messing with somebody that doesn't know what they're doing here with me. And I know who they are. I know where they're coming from. I have broken their proxies before. I have done it before, and I will do it again. And if they think they're funny, then just keep doing it. But what these trollers do is try to break us from what we are trying to do. And for the most part, I have forgotten about them. I keep doing my blogs. I keep doing updating the news on my website. I do my shows, and for the most part, they don't bother me. Not like they bother you, Ghost.
They bother me to holy hell. I mean, I am public enemy number one for these leftists and all. I mean, there's a variety of different groups bombarding me. It's not just one specific group. You got enemy-ass clowns that have nothing else better to do, trying to prank call so they can get their rocks off. You got leftists trying to deviate the conversation and throwing racial slurs and that sort of thing, getting taken off the air.
Go. I mean, look right here. I am being bombarded with private messages right now, just because these people think they own me, but they don't know anything. I mean, they don't know what road we are going down in this country. They think just by being a part of E-Bomb's world or whatever, they're cool. Well, you know what? You're not. If you don't have an understanding of what's going on in this country, then you will be one of the ones that are begging at the end that the government save you.
Well, they're doing it now, Sean. Are you kidding me? They're begging now. They're saying, please give me another stimulus package check, please. They're doing it now.
Yep. Well, I'm sorry, Ghost, for...
it's okay, Sean. I really appreciate your commentary. You know, you're an avid listener. Once again, I want to appreciate what you do, not only providing commentary when you call up, but what you do on your blogs. And, go ahead and plug your blog before you go.
It's truthandthought.net, and Conservative TNT is on Monday through Friday at 1 a.m. Eastern Time.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Sean. And once again, it's always a pleasure to have you on. And, good luck with all these damn trollers. It looks like you, knocked open a beehive here.
Oh, yeah. I hit a nerve, I think, Ghost. But that's all right. I can deal with these people. That's fine.
All right, Sean. Well, thank you very much for calling in, man, and call in anytime. Once again, folks, that was Sean from truthandthought.net. And, once again, one of our avid listeners who's listened to us for a consistent basis for some time. And I definitely like individuals like that. I like people with that type of fervor who understand that the conservative movement needs direction. We need to stop falling hook, line, and sinker with all these damn libertarian ass clowns. The conservative movement and the American taxpayer. That's why I always say the American taxpayer whenever I conduct this broadcast, because that's who I want to appeal to. No matter what your politics is, if you are a taxpayer, if you go to work and taxes are being taken out of your check, you should be burning up inside. You should have a damn hole burning through your intestines and out of your anal passage. Look, let me explain something to you, all right? Let me explain something to you. All the taxes that are taken out of your check are going to losers in America. And if they're not going to losers, they're going to the 19 or 17%, whatever the hell it was, increase in Wall Street bonuses in 2009. That's where your tax dollars are going to. And you mean to tell me that this is supposed to be America, free market capitalism out here? Well, what the hell is this all about, folks? Good God. 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. I want to hear from you. We were talking a little bit about this healthcare summit. We've talked about how we, should just take health insurance out of the whole equation, and that would remedy the whole problem, but nobody wants to talk about that because they're too bought and paid for by these insurance companies. So, screw them. But once again, folks, this healthcare summit was nothing more than political theater. These people were all blowhards, and conveniently enough, Barack Obama spoke more. He spent more time speaking than all the ass clowns in the event, for heaven's sake. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's just, it's propaganda. It's ridiculous. It's horrible. And be expecting some healthcare initiative that is much like the garbage we've been shoved down our holes for the past year, It's not going to be any different. You know, this political theater here proved to us that these damn politicians, these damn liberals, are going to go down fighting for this damn health care initiative. They don't care. So be expecting that. Be expecting for these dumbass liberals to force you to purchase health insurance. They're going to force you to purchase health insurance. They're going to federally mandate health insurance. 646-652-4869. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next issue here in the program. And I want to talk about Charles Rangel, Representative Charlie Rangel out there of New York. Well, come to find out, an ethics panel has found that he has, broken rules. He's broken some rules out here, and inevitably what Charlie Rangel is, he sits on the Ways and Means Committee, which is, basically the tax writing wing of our government. And inevitably, it come to find out, Charlie Rangel being, a part of the wing that, basically dictates, tax policy, the Ways and Means Committee, that here he is, all right, breaking ethics rules. All right, I mean, give me a break. And he's the chair of this committee. That's what's really even more unfortunate. This guy chairs the Ways and Means Committee, which basically writes our tax laws, and this idiot is, what is he doing? He's taking trips to the Caribbean that were paid for by corporate lobbyists. Yeah. And on top of that, I mean, that's just what came out today. This ethics panel say that this Rangel bastard actually had the audacity, to sit here and think that he can just, take trips to Caribbean on, dumbass, lobbyist dime, and nobody was going to have a problem with it. And on top of which, this is the asshole that's on the Ways and Means Committee, that's the chairman of this committee, that writes tax legislation. And here he is. There's questionable activity when it pertains to his taxes. Yeah, he's having problems with, some certain financial disclosure statements of his, use of multiple rent-stabilized apartments. Possibly even tax evasion up in here. And this is the man, chairman. This is the liberal that's chairing the Ways and Means Committee, the one that actually conducts tax legislation. It's horrible. But this is the liberal regime that I've been speaking of, folks. The liberals are complete hypocrites. They want to tax you to death. I mean, have you heard about all the taxes coming around the pike? Are you ready for those? Seriously, are you ready for those? There's going to be so many taxes coming around the pike, and these idiots don't want to pay the taxes. I mean, Rangel's not the only tax cheat out there in the Obama administration, or in the liberal regime, I should say. I mean, you got that dumbass weasel, that rat-faced weasel, Timothy Geithner. Timothy Geithner is the man who is the department secretary of the damn Treasury. And this man's a damn tax cheat. I mean, you should look back, if you go to any video portal site and search for Tim Geithner sitting in front of the Senate with that shit-eating grin on his face saying, we're going to actually go after those that are evading taxes. We're going to go after those that are cheating the IRS. And he's sitting there smiling with that stupid smirk on his face. And this is the man heading the Treasury. Disgusting, despicable hypocrites. So once again, folks, Charlie Rangel, comes out today. Ethics panels found that he broke House rules. He accepted a Caribbean trip from some damn corporate lobbyist. As a matter of fact, he damn near got, some of the, several members of the Black Caucus involved with the scandal. Several members of the Black Caucus were affiliated with this whole Caribbean crap. Were these people going to see a Billy Ocean concert? I mean, what was the necessity for you to take an unethical trip to the Caribbean on corporate lobbyist money? Can you explain that? Were you going to see Billy Ocean takes the Caribbean Queen, I mean, it's stupid. But Charlie Rangel damn near got the Black Caucus into some serious trouble. But luckily, the Ethics Committee figured out that, okay, yeah, the Black Caucus took the trip, but they didn't know anything about where it came from. They didn't know about the corporate lobbying money. So they got off scot-free. The Black Caucus didn't, with the exception of Charlie Rangel, none of the Black Caucus got, hooked up with any kind of ethics violations. And of course, Nancy Plastic Face Pelosi has been standing by Rangel for the whole damn time since, the tax evasion incident happened and, the questionable activity with the apartment situation. And now that the Ethics Committee has found that he broke House rules, I mean, shouldn't we take this idiot out of office already? If I were the people of New York and this was the piece of crap that was representing me, I would, question whether or not, this is the appropriate person representing our constituency, our geopolitical location. And you got to think of this, and you want to talk about the purest bureaucrat, Charlie Rangel, classic bureaucratic piece of garbage. And let me explain. This is a guy who's been in Congress for over almost 40 years. Almost 40 years, this man has been in the Congress. I mean, isn't that a classic bureaucrat? I mean, this man has made a career out of being a bureaucrat. I mean, don't you understand that it's supposed to be a public servant? When you are a politician, I know that these liberals are trying to wave their fingers in your face saying, yeah, we know what's good for you, people. We know what's good for you. You elected us, so we make the decisions now. We make the decisions. Well, what's unfortunate is that that's not the case, and the American people are so stupid they don't realize that these assholes are public servants, all right? They should be serving us. But unfortunately, they're not. You have asshole bureaucrats that are part of the liberal regime like Charlie Rangel, just blatant about breaking the rules, like the rules don't apply to them. And you see, that's why liberals become liberals. That's why they become bureaucrats, because they want to be above the law. And it's no coincidence that, a lot of these, liberal leaders, a part of the liberal regime, a lot of these leaders, they're really wealthy. They're really rich. They're really rich. And why are they liberals if they're rich? Well, because they want that extra kind of power. They want to be above the law. They want that type of power to where, if you mess with them, they can literally take you out by just calling a few people in the government. That's the type of crap that these people are after. They can ruin you. Just imagine, you're hooked into the bureaucracy for 40 years. Just imagine if you were on Charlie Rangel's bad side. You don't think this guy knew people after 40 years in Congress and make a few phone calls and you won't be audited by the IRS conveniently enough, huh? I mean, seriously. Anyway, I want to hear from you. What do you think about Charlie Rangel and his little ethics violation he broke House rules according to an ethics panel? What do you think about it? Do you think he should stay in office? You think Nancy Plastic Face Pelosi should be standing by this man after she's been standing by him for the past year? Absolutely not. This is another bye-bye for the Democrats and another bye-bye for the liberals. But it doesn't really make a difference, does it? It really doesn't make a difference if all these Democrats are unelected or not. People are going to go the opposite direction. They're going to vote in these dumbass Republicans that aren't providing any kind of new ideas, that aren't providing any kind of solutions for the problems at hand. All they're doing is giving us political fluff. They're giving us rhetorical garbage. That's all they're doing. That is all they're doing. They're not doing anything for us. So we, as the American people, and I'm not talking about the losers of this country. All right, I'm not talking about the assholes that are out here thinking it's okay just to, kick back and collect government subsidies, and actually put that down on credit on credit applications. I'm telling you this right now. People can actually put down their government subsidies for credit applications. They can put down their welfare for, house loan. I kid you not. I'm not talking for those people. I'm talking for the American working person, all right? Man, woman, white, black, Mexican, Chinese, whatever you are, as long as you're an American citizen and you understand that, hey, I like free market capitalism. I like the fact that whatever I put in, I can get back. You know, I like the fact that I can play this game of economy where, you know, all the work I put in, I get so much money and I can flip it, or I can sit on it, or I can spend it. I can do whatever I want with it. But you see, folks, once again, you know, like we said in yesterday's program, we now have a loser revolution upon us. You know, the Joe Stack situation with the, you know, airplane in the IRS building here in Austin, Texas. We had that stupid bimbo in the University of Alabama deciding, oh, I'm not getting tenure, so I'm shooting up the joint. This is loser violence, folks. This is loser violence. These are losers that did not, you know, for some whatever reason, did not attain whatever materialistic level that they wanted, or they didn't become stars, whatever the case might be. In the case of Joe Stack, this individual, conveniently enough, had a private plane on his person, and this moron, because the IRS found some indiscretions in his little bookkeeping and the probability of his house and his prop plane, of them being taken away were probably pretty high. So instead of starting over from scratch, and instead of saying, okay, I made some mistakes, let me pay my crap off, let me start over, and let me be fiscally responsible and bounce back. No, what he did was he decided to, you know, go on a suicide mission similar to an Islamic terrorist. All right? He got on a damn plane and decided to write this stupid little suicide note, hoping that it would inspire a communist revolution. That's what this idiot decided to do. He wanted to inspire a communist revolution because, if I can't have my plane and I can't have my house, no one can. And, folks, we're going to see a lot of violence relating to this type of idealism. And let me explain why. Because these people, their families are destroyed. What have I been saying ever since I broadcasted this, the first broadcast here on the Blog Talk Radio Network? I'm a foot soldier for the American family, but the American family is being destroyed. It's being destroyed by liberal Hollywood. It's being destroyed by the entertainment industry. It's being destroyed by our social surroundings, by our acceptance of teen pregnancies, by our acceptance of divorce, by our acceptance of all these ridiculous social ills that have now become the social norms. So, you know, even if you did lose your job, even if you did lose all your possessions, the least you could have is your damn family. And these morons don't even have their damn families out here. So that's why you're going to see a loser revolution come into a town near you, folks. Anyway, folks, this is the second hour of the True Conservative Radio program. I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. We're talking about Charlie Rangel and breaking his ethics rules and a little bit about the loser revolution. And I want to hear from you. But before I give out the number, I'd like for everybody to please follow me on Twitter. That's the best opportunity to figure out when I'm going to conduct another live broadcast. The name to follow is Ghost Politics. Ghost Politics, all one word, no underscores. And at the same time, folks, I'd like a little bit of feedback from you. I'd like a little feedback on when I should conduct this broadcast. I've had a lot of individuals email me up, Twitter me up, saying, look, we want the broadcast to be moved back just a tiny bit. 12:30 Central Time is a little late, especially for those folks on the East Coast. And I'd like some feedback from you. What would be a more convenient time to have the True Conservative Radio program? I've had a lot of people saying, sometime around 10 or 11 Central Time. I would definitely like to hear from you. So please follow me on Twitter, Ghost Politics. And on top of which, you send me an email at ghostpolitics@yahoo.com. Once again, folks, I want to hear from you. 646-652-4869 is the number to call. We're going to take a couple of more callers, and hopefully they can provide some insight that can spark some synapses in the brains out here in America. All right, let's take some more callers here. 562, you're on the air.
Why are you talking about the loser revolution? There's no such thing, honestly. Communism isn't really going to happen in America. It's impossible.
What are you talking about? It's happening now, ma'am. It's happening right now.
No, it's not, dude. In
It's
Cuba
not?
it is. No, in Cuba it is, and maybe in China, but in America, I doubt it's going to happen.
Okay, well, what's really unfortunate is that maybe, and I'm just speculating, ma'am, maybe you're too busy watching Sex and the City, and you're too busy watching Desperate Housewives, you're too busy watching the mascara commercials to figure out how you're going to do your makeup this season, and maybe you just don't understand what's happening in our country, okay? You stupid, dumb, idiot bimbo, all right? It's happening right now here in America. All right, communism is being infested not only within our government, not only within our economic system and our social system, but in every facet of our lives. We have been collectivized. You understand that? That individuals inside their heads actually believe that,
we should take care of everybody, even the losers of the world. We need to take care of single dish rag whore mothers who shit out 8 kids from 8 different fathers. That's what we need.
Give me a break. And, I know there's individuals in the chat room saying, why did you call that broad a bimbo and an idiot? I mean, did you hear her, folks?
Communism isn't here.
I mean, why don't you go in the kitchen and make somebody a sandwich there, you dumb broad, all right? And the only time you can call back is when you can actually provide some substance on the debating table. Give me a damn break. I wouldn't be surprised if you were, Gloria Steinem's love child or some crap. Get the hell out of here. 740, you're on the air.
What's up, Ghost? It's Tony in Ohio, man.
Hey, what's going on, Tony? It's good to hear from you, man.
Yeah, good to hear you too, man. I was just calling in. You were talking about a couple of different things, and I was going to agree with you on Rangel because I don't understand how these people get away with still staying in Congress when they're facing, these kinds of charges. It cracks me up. I don't understand the whole thing with Chris Dodd. I mean, I know he's retiring and everything now, but the only reason he's retiring is because the guy that gave him his mortgage is going to prison for giving out sweetheart mortgages at Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So I just don't understand the whole keeping them around when we know they're I know it's, they got to be proven in court and all that, but come on, it's ridiculous. It's so obvious on its face what's happened. You know what I mean? It's just get them out of office, get it over with, and move on. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, and the liberals have been very evasive when, approaching the Charlie Rangel situation. Out in the Beltway, it's been an undercover secret out here that, we don't want to necessarily unearth that. And, of course, the liberal media is not going to focus in too much on the Charlie Rangel situation. But now that the Ethics Committee has finally come out and said, hey, this guy's a crook, now we can finally say it without any kind of slander going on.
And I was the same way when there were Republicans that were facing charges for stuff, too. Like, there's been several cases over, especially the past, I think about 15 years, where we've had different Republicans that were Congress persons and were getting caught doing things, and I was all for removing them, too. So it's not a partisan thing. I just can't stand it.
Absolutely. I mean, I thought that, something similar to this, but not as blatant, but something rather similar to this, happened to... I can't believe I forgot his name. The man from Sugar Land, Texas, Tom DeLay.
Tom DeLay, yep.
And did this idiot say, no, I'm not stepping down? He stepped down because it's the right thing to do.
Right.
And you see, I don't understand, but you see, this is how bureaucrats are, Tony. They're disgusting, despicable, sniveling weasels that will go against the people's word because they see elected office as authority over those that elected them. They don't see it as public servants. They see it as, I'm going to put my finger in your face and I know what's good for you. And even if I, contradict myself, even if I'm proven a hypocrite, you still need to listen to me because I'm an elected official, and that's all there is to it. It's sick.
Speaking of hypocrisy, I want to agree and disagree with you about something. That's not the hypocrisy part. The hypocrisy part is I want to agree about libertarians to a certain degree. I'm rather libertarian-minded, although I don't consider myself a libertarian. As you know, I consider myself an individualist. But, there are times when I have disagreements with libertarians, and one of my critiques of them is that their favoritism toward corporations over government is a bit like corporate collectivism, and they don't see it that way. But you can point out some obvious logical problems with with a lot of stuff. Like they want to, go to the point of privatizing everything. I've spoken to some libertarians with small L's that would like to privatize the military. There's just certain things you don't, that's one thing I don't want privatized. I don't know about you. I mean, in times of need, sure, there's a constitutional reasoning and allowability for hiring mercenaries and so on and so forth in times of great need, in self-defense of the nation. But there's no, stipulation in the Constitution that allows us to privatize the military for good reason, because we want the military to be, beholden to the Congress, the President, so on and so forth, not a corporate CEO, because they could pull the military's ability to help us if we didn't pay the bill, like we're kind of like not doing now with everybody.
Certainly, no, I agree, but unfortunately, what has happened here with the American government-run military system is we have a military-industrial complex that has just gone completely berserk, and most of the taxpayer funds, on top of all the crap that we give to the losers and all the bailouts we give to Wall Street, a good chunk of it goes to defense. Now, rightfully so, we need a good defense system, but once again, when we spend too much money on defense, especially when we don't need to, when we have pretty much everything contained, we end up building technologies that just lay dormant and just collect dust, and then 10 years goes by and we got to update the damn crap again. I mean, it's really an unfortunate situation, because there is no method of dictating production when it comes to military armory, whether it's planes, whether it's guns, whether it's everything used in warfare.
Yeah, I found myself in a weird situation agreeing with McCain when he wanted to put aside some of the contracts for building some planes that they felt were unnecessary. They said they're not a different generation. I think we're on fourth generation technology now, and they're these aren't fifth generation. So what's the point? We already have a fleet. You just want to build a new model for the hell of it,
Absolutely, and this is really the point around privatizing the military. Now, I do agree that we can't privatize the entire military, because you're exactly right. The corporate CEOs or the owners of these mercenary groups will basically pull out the troops if we can't pay the bill for the war, kind of like you said we're doing here with the unfortunate debacles that we're in Iraq and Afghanistan. And we're going to talk about that in just a second, because Hillary Clinton made a comment about that. But once again, I mean, what should be happening and what's not happening is that we have Iraq. At the very minimum, Iraq should be a success story, because not only did we, as the American people, get rid of that ridiculous rogue dictator, but we have allowed those people in Iraq to attempt to conduct business and conduct government amongst themselves. What's really unfortunate is that we're doing it in the middle of the Islamic community, and the Islamic community doesn't particularly like America at this point. So as a result, we have a lot of destabilization, which has cost the war the amount of money that has cost thus far. But what's really unfortunate is, why haven't we forced our government to force the Iraqi parliament that our military force put in there? Why aren't we forcing these people to pay back the debt that we have incurred? They're selling the oil that they're taking out of their ground, which is the second largest oil deposit in the world. They're selling it on the world market, taking advantage of $70, $80, whatever the price of oil is at any given time. They are taking advantage of these situations, and they have no debt. The reason they have no debt is because America forced all countries to relieve Iraq of its debt. So all the money that they're generating from these oil sales are just going into the pockets of the surplus that they have currently. It's over $1 trillion. Why hasn't this dumb government in Iraq paid us any money, or at least given us oil pro bono, so we could have artificially drawn down the price of oil and basically put Saudi Arabia and all the other oil-producing countries in their place?
That's one of my biggest problems with the way they go to war anymore is if they did it the right way, I would assume you could do what you did every time we did it the right way, which was to say, okay, the president has the authority to make the war, and then the Congress has the right to either declare it or not, and they have the right to fund it or not. Now, if they're going to declare it, just straight-up declaration, which is a complicated thing politically, I understand that, but if they do it, you can set up a world court, you can go to court, and you can sue for reparations when countries force you to invade them by self-defense or whatever, and you could prove your case that way. And I'm not saying they don't have a case or whatever. I don't want to debate Iraq, but definitely that's the main point of declaring it, is you can sue for reparations. I think we should be suing for reparations from any nation that forces us to give a violent reaction to. If they're outwardly aggressive, then it's their fault, and they have to pay for it. That's in the Geneva Conventions, even, that the aggressor nation must pay the reparations to the nations that were the respondents. So I mean, it's just that we don't go to that next level because it's not politically easy for these morons in office. And if they went to that level, we could do what we usually did. World War I, World War II, you sue for reparations, and I'm not, they didn't do it perfectly in World War I especially. They overdid it, and, World War II was probably a little better done, the setting up Japan the way it is now, and everything seems to have worked out pretty well.
Well, that's the models of Iraq come from Japan and South Korea, and these models, West Germany, that sort of thing.
Right.
So that's why they thought that, once they instill some sort of remnants of democratic government, that at some point the people would come together and coalesce around this government, and it'd be a civil society. Now, I'm not saying that Iraq is a failure, because I don't believe it's a failure. It could be a failure once the liberals, take the damn troops out of Iraq. And what I think is a bigger debacle is that this liberal regime actually wants to send more troops into Afghanistan. And Afghanistan, I think that we need to get the hell out of there. It's a dirt hole. There's no reason to be in there. I mean, if we haven't found bin Laden at this point, let's just get the hell out of there, and let's go to the Waziristan region, the border of Pakistan and Afghanistan, and make sure we can hunt these idiots out. As a matter of fact, the Mullah Badar, that idiot that got captured, which is the second in command of the Taliban, he was actually captured in Karachi, Pakistan. So what I'm saying is that, if we're going to fight the war on terror, let's do it right. Whether you agree or disagree with any of these wars, we have to agree that Afghanistan is a failure, and we need to agree that we need to stay in Iraq to make sure that we recoup all the unfortunate debts generated liberating these people. And it's not like they don't have the means to do it. They have the second largest oil deposit in the world. They should be able to pull this money right out of their derriere and give it to us with interest. And if they're not going to do that, the least they could do is just give us oil pro bono, and we'll take it off their tab, and we will purposely draw down the cost of oil. And these big dumbass oil-producing countries like Saudi Arabia and Venezuela and all these other jerk-offs, they won't be as confident, regulating the prices through OPEC.
Yeah, I can agree with most of that for sure. The other thing I wanted to touch on, if you don't mind, Ghost, just to go back a little bit, was the libertarian thing when you guys were talking about CPAC. That was where I kind of disagreed with you guys. I thought it was a good thing what happened at CPAC. The only reason I say that is, even though I disagree with libertarians on the whole corporate collectivism thing, and kind of worshiping corporations as if it were government or replacing government with corporations, whatever, I don't know. I don't think that was such a negative thing for the Republican Party, and the reason being is, Robert Taft and Barry Goldwater, those were the original types of conservatives, and the neoconservatives today don't even realize that most of their ideology is backed up by Trotskyism and leftist socialist values. They're okay with the welfare state, and they're okay with budgetary deficits. Matter of fact, exploding deficits don't even bother them. And
it's Keynesian economics.
Right, and it's sad that they don't realize where that side of the conservatism came from, because it's rather left, and when they look at Barry Goldwater and Robert Taft, they idolize these guys, and they hold up pictures of them, and I've seen T-shirts of these guys, but at the same time they disregard or disdain everything that those people stood for, because those people stood for the kinds of things that libertarians do today. And I think the founders, if you were going to say that they were anything, they were classically liberal, classical liberalism, which we know is not liberalism today at all.
Absolutely not. I mean, classical liberalism goes back to the Enlightenment thinkers of John Locke, Rousseau, Montesquieu, You know, these thinkers that, you know, enabled us to concoct this great American experiment that we have today.
Yeah, and in classical liberalism, if you look at it, I mean, it's just a touch off of libertarianism, and it's got pieces of conservatism that we find today in more what I call old right, like Pat Buchanan, you know, the old righties, the
Absolutely.
You know, but it's just that we've lost that piece of it, and I thought it was cool that the young people, because they take to that message, because the government's done such a fine job with our economy, and they just by default kind of go to that message, and they kind of took over that CPAC and said, look, you know, it's not just for the Tea Parties. You know, you guys are trying to kick us out of the not you, but I'm saying like a lot of these Tea Parties are trying to kick the Libertarians out. You know, they were invited in by the Libertarians, and now they want to eat their own and get them out of there because they don't like what they have to say. They're too right for them. You know, they're a little left of these guys, so they're like, nah, you know, you guys are a little crazy. Ron Paul's a nut. We're going to run people against him and try to get him out of office. And they showed up at CPAC and said, well, you want to do that, then we'll do this. You know, we'll show up in force, and we'll show you that you might like Palin and you might like Mitt Romney, and you know, but you guys don't vote for them. You don't go to the booths and vote, because there were 10,000 people there and 2,500 people voted, and 33% of them, you know, voted Ron Paul, and that was enough for him to win. That just says that these people support Palin and support Romney, but not enough to go actually vote for him.
I agree, and, you know, I'm not completely against Ron Paul, but once again, you know, if we look at the foundation of libertarianism, and, you know, I've done some extensive research on it. I actually put a cover of a book, you know, the Libertarian Communist Manifesto, and if you read that extensively, you begin to realize the true ideological understanding to the libertarian idea. And I don't particularly like it. I do not want communism. I want free markets. And I don't want any, I don't want, you see, this is what's really unfortunate about libertarians. They act as though they're true, you know, John Lockean type of life, liberty, and pursuit of property type of individuals. But in essence, you know, they're willing to bend that government gap on certain issues also. So inevitably, and we can talk about all the issues that they talk about, you know, the government should do this and do that. And you see, we can't have that. We just need to have one extreme or the other and let it dictate itself through the process of Congress, and make sure that the idiots that we send there they have the intellectual curiosity enough to be able to put out ideas that may be in opposition, but within you know, sound and confined debate, that they can come up with a legitimate compromise. That's the way our system has always ran. But what's really unfortunate is that individuals have, you know, done a great propaganda job by, you know, slipping in, you know, variants of communism, because that's what we're doing. We are witnessing the orgy of leftism in our country. And right now, they're figuring out which form of leftism is going to reign supreme. Is it going to be Maoism? Is it going to be Trotskyism? Is it going to be Leninism? Is it going to be, you know, true Marxism? You can see facets of every one of these different ideologues come out every single day. You know, certain ideologues that are down with Mao control certain entities within the bureaucratic system of government. People who believe in, you know, the Trotsky idea, like you said, the neoconservatives, they have, you know, controlled certain portions of the bureaucratic system of government. So inevitably, it is a battle of ideas, and that's why I continue to say this on a consistent basis on my show, that we need to find out what these ideas are. They're a lot more complicated and a lot more complex and a lot more emotionally and passionately driven than, you know, these simple, dumbass little American political squabbles that we have today. And that's why I'm saying I wasn't really too happy seeing CPAC, a conservative political action committee, get bombarded by libertarians. I'm not too happy with the teabaggers either, there, Tonys. I think they're a bunch of morons. I don't think the conservative movement has any legitimate intellectual ideas that can help not only the, you know, conservative movement pull forward, but help our country get out of the situation it's in. I see none of it. I see a bunch of cult of personality horse crap, the same garbage we're seeing on the left, which, you know, is this worshiping of personalities who know how to read teleprompters or hands, you know, shit written on hands good enough.
Oh,
and,
man.
you know, we're supposed to just take this as our leaders? No, we need leadership, damn it. We need people with ideas. We need individuals that are actually going to implement those ideas. And nobody on the Democrats or the Republican side, or anybody who's calling themselves a conservative at this point, is, you know, putting forth any of those ideas, and I think it's disgusting.
Yeah, I agree with your critique of libertarianism, by the way, too. I mean, like I said, I started off agreeing with you because, I mean, I look at libertarians like they're just slightly left of me, you know. But you're right. The problem that they don't understand is that the logical end to what they advocate is collectivism. It's not going to be any, you know, like you said, it's not going to be much different from generally accepted definitions of communism. It's what it leads to logically if you give over authorities and rights over to institutions like they would like to do. So yeah, I agree with your critique about it. And Ron Paul's not like a walk on water guy for me either. I don't really, you know, think he could win anything. I just thought it was nice for the young people that kind of take to the more right, you know, they're more right of their parents, you know.
Certainly.
I mean, they're certainly left of us, but they're not right of, you know, they're left of us, but they're right of where the government is now.
I can certainly agree to that, but once again, you know, the difference between those young people and the young people of the damn hippie movement in Woodstock is that those idiots in Woodstock actually understood the rhetoric and interpreted the rhetoric and actually fulfilled the necessary process to make that rhetoric become reality, to make those theories become practice. And that's what they've done thus far. I don't think that these young people know exactly what Ron Paul's about. I just think that, you know, it's kind of like rebellion for the sake of rebellion. Oh, you know, I don't like Democrats, I don't like Republicans, Ron Paul. You know, if you're going to have that type of rebellion, why don't we look into other candidates, you know, other people that don't have the big bucks? I mean, you know, what I found particularly precarious about Ron Paul is he was able to raise large sums of money in quick intervals. And, you know, I know from my own experience from this scumbag political game, if you're going to raise all kinds of capital, you're going to have to pay some of that back in some fashion, politically mostly.
Well, most of his money came from independent donors, though. It didn't really come from corporations. You know what I mean?
Well, a good chunk of it did come from private donors, but at the same time, I mean, he still had some private money backing him up. I mean, he still had some bigwigs. I don't want to name the names of individuals, but you know, some of the individuals had their ties to leftist idealism.
Yeah, you're right. No, it's not, you know, he wasn't completely clean of it. You're right. And he's just another politician. You know what I mean? It's not like like I said, he doesn't walk on water for me like he does for a lot of people. But, you know, and I disagree with him on several issues. I just, you know, looked at the people that they had on that list at CPAC, and I'm thinking, no. Well, I mean, it's better than that. You know, and
absolutely.
What they went with was the better of the choices. And it really, if you look at the CPAC poll, there was another question on the poll besides names, and the question was, do you think the field of choice is good enough? And the answer for like 10 years straight has been yes, and this year it was no.
Yeah, I agree, and it was pretty much of a despicable spectacle, and I wasn't very happy with it. I didn't really say much about it on my program except for nothing but negative things, and rightfully deserved, Tony, because those people are pieces of crap. Anyway, Tony, I want to thank you for calling up, man, and, you know, I always appreciate your commentary, you know, DOL, all that stuff. And, you know, once again, if you want to promote your website or if you have a web show or anything, you can go ahead and promote it now, man.
Yeah, it's at blogtalkradio.com/Tony in Ohio. Capitalize the T, the I, and the O in the, you know, but no spaces. It's all one word.
Cool, man.
That's my show, and go check it out, my archives. I don't have scheduled times to do it randomly. Thanks a lot for taking my call, Ghost.
No problem, Tony. And, man, keep doing what you're doing, man.
Thanks a lot, man. Hey, DOL.
Thanks a lot. Anyway, folks, that was Tony in Ohio, folks, providing some good insight. It's always good to hear good insight from individuals, you know, especially young people who are putting forth ideas that are pro-free market, that are, you know, pro-American. And I know that a lot of individuals are out there saying, you know, I think you're being a little hard on some of the misfortunate souls out here in America that are finding it hard to live. No, absolutely not. I don't think I'm being hard at all. Folks, we are witnessing the beginning of a loser revolution. Loser in the fact that these individuals put themselves in debts that honest people can't pay. They've had children that they can't afford. And now that the economic situation in America has contracted because of our lackadaisical approach to our political, social, and economic obligations, now these same people are out here embracing communism, embracing socialism, embracing these leftist ideas because they're now losers. This is a damn loser revolution. It makes me sick. Good God. Anyway, folks, on that note, maybe I should take a break here. I'm going to go ahead and, I guess put on a song here, put on, some music. I was going to put on this song the other day. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, it didn't come through. This is LaGrange by ZZ Top, some old Texas boys from down here in Texas. As a matter of fact, LaGrange is a Texas city. And, what these boys are talking about in this song isn't particularly, for the kiddos. But I like the song. I like blues music. I love the appreciation of the solo guitar, so I hope you appreciate it. I'm going to take a break. Stay tuned with us, ass clowns. Don't go anywhere. Don't go to the crapper. Don't go, look at pornography. Don't look at naked pictures of Greg Louganis' ass crack. Don't do any of that crap. Stay here. We still got, more than enough time to take some more callers and to rip some crap up. Once again, the number 646-652-4869. And, of course, follow me on Twitter, folks, at Ghost Politics. All right? Anyway, let's go ahead and throw on the music, shall we? Go ahead and throw it on.
Rumors spreading round in that Texas town about the shack outside the game. And you know what I'm talking about. Just let me know if you wanna go to that home out on the range. They got a lot of nice girls. I'm waiting.
What's going on? That was a little bit of ZZ Top, LaGrange. The only reason I play little tidbits of music is in hopes of, spreading the word about certain artists that I feel that, make a couple of songs that I like. They're a little creative because we need to aspire creativity amongst individuals in the music realm. I think that a lot of people have, taken the easy road. A lot of people have become rappers. A lot of people have become electronic artists and all this other malarkey. And I think that we need individuals that are musically creative and can inspire themselves to create some music that everybody wants to listen to. But anyway, folks, I want to talk a little bit about, we're losing time here. I'm not even keeping track of the time, and we only got about 21 minutes left. But I do want to get into what Hillary Clinton did today, because it's definitely, something important. Okay. Anyway, Hillary Clinton was, before congressional panels, defending the, State Department's budget of $52.8 billion for 2011. And in essence, she didn't necessarily justify it. I mean, she did, give some banter on the fact that, we need $52 billion because the State Department needs to pay for my trips around the world and all that crap. But in essence, she used this as a venue to throw the liberal regime and Barack Obama under the bus. I mean, let me tell you, I've been talking about the Clintons every time they do something because, even though they're liberals, they're brilliant politicians. You gotta admire the amount of audacity and tenacity of these idiots. Okay. Hillary Clinton decided to say at this, while she was, appearing before congressional panels, she decided to say that, and this is a quote from the speech that she gave, or a little testimony. She goes, "It breaks my heart that 10 years ago we had a balanced budget, that we were on our way to paying down the debt of the United States of America." Yeah, 10 years ago. And of course, she talks about when she served in the Budget Committee in the Senate, and she remembered when Alan Greenspan justified the increase in spending and cutting taxes, and, saying things like, we don't really need to pay down the debt. And of course, Alan Greenspan is a Keynesian, economist. And at the time, if you look at the economic situation at the time 10 years ago, and you look at the fact that we weren't at war this time 10 years ago, that's the reason why they decided to cut taxes and justified the increase in spending, because at the time we weren't at war. This was before 9/11. This was right after the dot-com bust. So I can understand where Greenspan's economic thinking was headed when he decided to, lower down the interest rates and attempt to, fight off inflation, or at least massive amounts of inflation, while at the same time, avoiding the complete opposite. Well, according to Hillary Clinton, she says that, well, I believe that this was the wrong thing to do the whole time. She said that that was outrageous in her view. All right? What really is unfortunate is that Clinton has urged lawmakers, all right, to attempt to solve the debt crisis that's happening in the United States of America. And she tried to throw Greenspan under the bus, while at the same time throwing George W. Bush under the bus, while at the same time throwing Barack Obama under the bus. Because remember, she just gave the 10-year time frame. And that was conveniently the time when her husband left office and left a surplus, and Bush came into office, and then Obama came into office. Now, what she said in this address to the congressional panel is that our deficit, our national debt, is now becoming a national security issue. It's becoming a national security issue because we have, companies that are credited, the credit companies, the credit countries like China, who have $755 billion in U.S. Treasury bonds. Hillary Clinton said that we should become concerned about this situation. All right? Well, she didn't really mention it, but she alluded to it. She alluded to the idea that the national debt can be an influence and definitely a threat in our national security. Now, given the fact that China has a portfolio of some $755 billion in U.S. Treasury, I mean, doesn't that give them a little bit of leverage to possibly influence U.S. policy? Maybe this was what Hillary Clinton was alluding to, the fact that, you've got all these creditor nations, of course, China being the biggest creditor at $755 billion in U.S. Treasuries. These countries can have leverage to force politicians and other influential individuals that are supposed to be responsible, like the American people, for this debt. They can hold leverage to dictate foreign policy here in America. I think it's disgrace. And, the reason I'm bringing this up is because, first of all, this issue is another Clinton-esque political move. She's positioning herself for a 2012 bid because she understands that the country's taken a little bit more of a turn for the right. Because they got a whiff of liberalism. It smelled like a dirty, smelly, disgusting, despicable, a Burger King bathroom urinal after a gang of bums go in there to, shoot crack and, take a dump and then go, whatever. She realizes that that her and her husband are still the leadership of the Democrats. Now, they understand that Barack Obama's the president at this time. They understand that he was a great orator and made everybody feel funny in the pants, but he didn't pull through politically. This is Hillary Clinton once again positioning herself for a 2012 bid for the presidential campaign. I guarantee it, folks. I mean, I said this when Bill Clinton took it upon himself, without the Obama administration knowing, going to North Korea. And he didn't go to North Korea to bargain for those stupid bimbos. I mean, that was just a precursor. That was just what they told the media. I mean, Bill Clinton went out there and legitimately negotiated these dumb North Koreans down from their high horse of enriching uranium and building nuclear weapons. I mean, do you remember before Bill Clinton went out there to negotiate supposedly for these two bimbos that, crossed across the border or something? North Korea was launching rockets, for heaven's sake. And, Barack Obama was just, we're going to ignore them and they'll go away. But Bill Clinton basically rendered Barack Obama impotent. He rendered him impotent when it came to foreign policy by going behind the administration's back and going to North Korea. And Bill Clinton took it upon himself to negotiate North Korea's little ambitions into, nuclear warfare. He calmed the North Koreans down, something that Barack Obama couldn't do. And, of course, there's other things that we can bring up, but the latest political move by the Clintons is Hillary Clinton in front of these congressional, little panels where she's justifying her $52 billion budget. She's using those opportunities as on-the-record statements that she can look back upon in future political endeavors. She can look back upon those statements and say, you see, I was concerned about the budget the whole time. When my husband was in office, we had a surplus. We understood that the national debt was an integral part of the economy, and if we paid down the debt, we'd have a good economy. And she's going to give you this whole nonsense. I can see it now. And this is why I'm saying these are brilliant politicians. They're classic bureaucrats. So that's why I'm saying, folks, for you Pumas, and I remember when the Pumas were here on the Blog Talk Radio Network, I mean, they were, sending me hate mail, calling me, oh, Ghost, you're a misogynist. You're a lizard. You're a snake, you bastard. Because I didn't agree with their girl, Hillary Clinton. Well, now the Pumas can now get wet in their garter belts and their grandma pantyhose, because I believe, and just like I've always said ever since this whole damn Barack Obama fiasco and the liberal regime took over, that Hillary Clinton will run again in 2012. And let me tell you, the Republicans, the conservatives, the libertarians, whoever, better come up with a candidate better than Sarah Eskimo Bimbo Palin or, Mitt Magic Underpants Romney. You know, you need to do better than this crap. You need to do better than Ron, fix broken vaginas Paul. You know, we need to do we need to have leadership that has ideas, that's going to put forth idealism, that's going to take our country forward. You know, that's going to progress us from the situation that we're in now. And the situation we're in now is unfortunate. It's disgusting. You know, we, as the people, the American taxpayer, the true conservatives, I hope that you're listening out there. Is anybody listening? I mean, hello, is this thing on out here? We need you people to stand up, the American taxpayer, the true conservative. We need to take our country back. Don't listen to these talking heads out here. You think that we're going to get, okay, yeah, so what? The Republicans get the Congress and the Senate in 2010. Big deal. They're bought and paid for by the same ass clowns who bought and paid for this liberal regime. It doesn't matter. It's the same crap, different plate. So what I'm saying is we need somebody with ideas. We need somebody that's going to give us some inspiration as American people. And I don't see that. I know I've put out a few names. I mean, I would like to see Lou Dobbs run for president in 2012. I mean, that's who we need, a man who has been documented. He is documented on what he believes in. And if he goes back on all the rhetoric that he, put out in his program, he'll be a damn hypocrite. He'll be a damn hypocrite. I like Lou Dobbs. I mean, I think that we need to have more people. That guy from South Carolina who's running for governor who said that, welfare is, the equivalent of feeding stray animals. I think that idiot needs to start looking for some presidential ambitions. We need people that understand that we can't, feel sorry for assholes in America anymore. This is a great country. What we need to do is figure out how we can bring back capital into America, how we can bring back jobs, investment, businesses, how we can bring back small business. This is what we need. We need to bring back the middle class and the upper middle class. If we don't have a middle class and upper middle class, folks, then we're nothing. We're no different than Mexico. And why do you think those idiots in Mexico are, swimming across a sewer runoff border to get over here in this country so they can, clean toilets for a living? Because you're either filthy rich or dirt poor in Mexico. There is no middle class. There is no upper middle class in Mexico. And the reason I'm, so well informed about Mexico is I live in Texas, folks, and let me tell you, every time around Easter time, these filthy rich Mexicans come across the border into Texas, and they blow thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars. Meanwhile, the riffraff of their country, the utter excrement, the human excrement of Mexico is coming over here and taking American jobs. But you see, it's not like America cares. America, the liberals have, spun this idea of illegal immigration into something humanitarian. They've spun it into a humanitarian issue, which it's not. It's absolutely not a humanitarian issue. The individuals that are coming in here illegally, the individuals that are coming in here taking our jobs, these people are invaders. They're invaders to our country. Don't you understand that? These people have invaded our country. And, to remedy this problem is not very difficult, folks. I mean, the federal government can make an easy and I've suggested this many times. Why don't these people just cut federal funding to sanctuary cities? Why don't they just cut funding to sanctuary cities? All these idiots that house these, illegal immigrants out in the open. Just cut the federal funding to these people so the cops don't get paid anymore, and the federal employees don't get paid anymore, and they won't get any more mail anymore. I'm telling you right now, the problem will remedy itself right in there. But I don't think we should stop there. I also think that we should throw the small business owners and corporate CEOs who hire these illegal immigrants, I think we need to throw them in prison for treason. because they are committing treason, aiding and abetting an invader of this country. I am for legal immigration. If you want to be a legal immigrant and take the proper channels to become a legal citizen, by all means, America's the melting pot. By all means, attempt to, fill out applications or whatever the hell the ordeal is and become an American. But if you're going to be some illegal piece of crap, that's going to literally swim through diarrhea sewage to get into this country so that you can park my car, I just think it's a disgrace. It's horrible. I don't want to have nothing to do with it. Contractors, especially you contractor scumbags that are out here hiring these bastards, for labor, you should all be. I honestly believe you should all be thrown in prison for at least 10, 15 years. I'm not kidding. I think that individuals who are aiding and abetting these illegal immigrants need to be put in prison for 10 or 15 years. It's a disgrace. They're the reason why we have an economic situation on top of our economic situation. And just imagine, okay, you're a person laid off from your job. You're coming into an economy, or if you're a college graduate, mind you, you're coming into an economy that is service industry oriented. We don't produce anything anymore. Meanwhile, you have to fight for those service industry jobs or construction jobs or whatever job. You got to fight with these illegal immigrants. You have to fight with these illegal immigrants, and they're willing to take below minimum wage under the table with no health insurance. And how are you as an American going to compete with that? You're not. So give me a break. 646-652-4869. We got about 5 minutes left. We're going to take one more caller here. 219, you're on the air.
What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, man, things aren't as they seem, yeah?
Okay.
I know you're pissed off at, all the quote-unquote Mexicans. And
well, before you say that, are you okay? Have you been, puffing on the Magic Dragon at all?
No, I'm sitting here eating a salad, if that's okay.
Oh, I'm just asking. You sound a little dopey. I'm just asking. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
My wife happens to be Hispanic.
Uh-huh.
And we're in decline. That's what it is. Our country is down. So, we're going to point fingers at other people. Bottom line is, we do to save ourselves.
Yeah. How many fingers am I holding up? Hello?
I'm here.
Yeah, how many fingers am I holding up?
I'm going to play your game.
Yeah, all right, never mind. That's enough. Turn it off. Turn it off! Anyway, look, I don't know what that was about. That guy sounded like he's, smoking some Northern Lights or something. But anyway, we've got 3 minutes left in the program. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me once again. If you want to figure out when I'm going to conduct these live broadcasts, the best way to figure it out is to follow me on Twitter. All right, and please do that right now. Ghost Politics is the name to follow. All one word, no underscores. Ghost Politics. And by the way, folks, I've said this a couple of times during the program. We are considering moving back the time of the program because it is currently at 12:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, and a lot of the people on the East Coast are finding a hard time staying up so late at 1:30 in the morning getting a live True Conservative radio program. So what I'd like for everybody to do is please give me some feedback, whether you're live or in the archive. I'd like for you to, give me a time. When would it be most appropriate, most convenient for the listeners out there who appreciate True Conservative Radio? Let me know. Send me a tweet at Ghost Politics, or send me an email, mind you. All right, go ahead and send me an email, ghostpolitics@yahoo.com. And believe me, folks, I mean, the individuals that have tweeted me so far and the individuals that have emailed me, they have suggested to move it to about 10 or 11 p.m. Central Standard Time. I want to hear from you. Let me know, and we're going to do it for you, folks. I'm telling you, I'm starting to understand that there are individuals, aside from the liberal agitators who agitate my show, who listen and actually get some substance out of the commentary that I conduct on this broadcast, and I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me from the bottom of my heart. You are what's keeping me going, even though this bad ticker of mine is, getting to me at this point in time. That's why I'm trying to calm my ass down. Last night was a horrible episode of the True Conservative Radio program. I thought I was going to legitimately kick the bucket there for a minute, so I'm going to try to calm down. So please, folks, spread the word about the True Conservative Radio program. This show is completely word of mouth. All right, I don't advertise the show. I'm not out here trying to plug the damn thing. Please, it's up to you. I'd like for you to tell everybody you know, email it, Facebook it, tweet it, MySpace it, go to the forums, go to the chat rooms, go wherever it needs to be to please promote the True Conservative Radio program. And let me tell you, the more people tweet me, the more people, email me, the more I'll do this show, folks. The bottom line is the reason I do it is because people are listening. Some people may be agitating. Other people may be actually getting some true substance in the commentary. And I want to hear from you. Once again, tweet me up, Ghost Politics, all one word, folks, no underscores, and shoot me an email at ghostpolitics@yahoo.com. And before we go, folks, don't forget to add to your favorites or your bookmarks ghostpolitics.blogspot.com. That's the official True Conservative blog, folks. Don't be an ass clown. Go out there and read it and comment. Anyway, folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. Once again, I do not know when I'm going to conduct a broadcast, so keep up to date with me on Twitter. I am out of here. Long live the True Conservative movement and the American taxpayer, and death, death, death to feminism.
A Napa guy knows not to judge a man by his car's multicolored paint job or absence of modern gadgetry. Who cares if it's technically old enough to vote and the windows are powered by the strength of your left arm? Your monthly payment is zero, and it'll stay that way. Because with over 400,000 parts and a little Napa know-how, you can keep anything on the road. She may not be pretty, but she's all yours. That's Napa know-how.